There's a temple partially submerged in the centre of the lake in the Swamp of Sorrows. The reason it's there is because one of the most powerful beings in Azeroth tried to stop something terrible from happening, and accidentally made it worse. That's the swamp in a nutshell. It's a zone where good intentions went wrong, and the things meant to fix the problems became problems themselves. The Swamp of Sorrows used to be part of an enormous swampland called the Black Morass, but when the Dark Portal was destroyed at the end of the Second World War, the implosion tore the zone apart. The southern part became the Blasted Lands, and the northern wetlands eventually became known as the Swamp of Sorrows, a name that fits the zone perfectly, especially after everything that happened here. The swamp is remote, boggy and miserable. Crocodilists lurk at the water's edge, bog beasts wade through the interior, and in the middle of the largest lake since the entrance to the TempleofAtal'Hakkar, also known as the Sunken Temple. This temple is where the story of the zone starts. Over 1,000 years ago, the Gurubashi Empire, a vast troll empire that once controlled huge parts of the Eastern Kingdoms, was torn apart by a civil war. A group of troll priests called the Atal'Hakkar had been attempting to summon a blood god called Hakkar the Soul Flayer. Eventually they were defeated, exiled from the empire, and they fled north into the swamp. Speaking of the Gurubashi, I've got a video essay on Strangleform which explores more about the empire and the remnants of it. In the Swamp of Sorrows, the Atal'Hakkar trolls built the TempleofAtal'Hakkar as a shrine to the god. Plus, it made a great place to prepare for his arrival in secret. However, it wasn't secret enough, as Ysera, the dragon aspect who watches over the Emerald Dream, found out what they were doing and acted. She and her green dragonflight sank the temple into the depths of the lake, and Ysera stationed her dragons there permanently to guard it. But the thing is, the dragons didn't realise until it was too late that sinking the temple didn't end the threat, as the Sunken Temple wasn't actually where Hakkar was meant to enter the world, and by burying it beneath the water it sealed the temple off from the outside world more. Ysera accidentally gave the Atal'Hakkar exactly what they needed. They were hidden, protected by the lake, and their rituals could continue undisturbed. Ysera, who is one of the most powerful beings in Azeroth, acted decisively and with good reason, and yet made things worse. The trolls are still down there, the green dragons are still guarding the temple, and some of them are now corrupted by the Emerald Nightmare, and the threat that Ysera tried to bury is still very much alive beneath the water. Then there are the Lost Ones. When you come across them in the Swamp of Sorrows, they're hostile and attack almost anything on sight. They're twisted physically and mentally and are barely recognisable as people they once were. They are Draenei, or at least they were. After the Dark Portal first opened, a number of Draenei became stranded on Azeroth after passing through the portal. They were cut off from their home in an unfamiliar world. Some eventually began to change, and it isn't entirely clear why. It could be the lingering effects of the Red Pox, or the corruption surrounding the land and the area near the Dark Portal, or maybe simply years of isolation. Whatever the cause, they slowly transformed into the Lost Ones. And that's what makes their story so difficult to sit with, is that they didn't choose this. They weren't searching for power or trying to summon an ancient god. They were victims of circumstances that they couldn't control. While a small group of Draenei at the Harborage managed to survive as the Broken, the Lost Ones continued to deteriorate until they became little more than shadows of the people they once were. Same journey, same catastrophe, two completely different outcomes. And that's what the Swamp of Sorrows actually is when you put it all together. Every major story here is about something going wrong despite someone's best efforts. Ysera wasn't careless, the Draenei weren't reckless, and things just went wrong anyway. That creates a feeling to the zone which is hard to shake. It's the feeling that some problems don't have solutions, and sometimes even trying to fix things doesn't go to plan. You come in as a player, you do the quests, you go into the Sunken Temple, and deal with what you find down there, but the swamp was broken long before you arrived, and it will still be broken when you leave. The temple is still down there and the lost ones are still using their grip, and the broken exiles are still holding on. Some places carry their sorrows with them, and this one always has. If you'd like to see more videos where I break down parts of Azeroth, be sure to like, comment and subscribe. More videos like these are on the way. In the meantime, why not check out my Swamp of Sorrows travel guide where I explore the zone as if it were a holiday destination.